Lacey, no, Selina screamed. You can't shoot. She's your mother. The gun slipped from my fingers and clattered to the floor. It barely slid an inch along the tiles before the man picked it up and aimed it at me. A great ball of hysterical laughter bubbled up my throat and let itself loose into the room. The three of them, Selina, my aunt who'd raised me and loved me like her own, the man who was still unidentified, and the woman who was apparently my mother, all stared at me with wide eyes. Tears welled and blurred my vision, but that didn't lessen the turmoil swirling inside me, building itself up in my head until I was sure I'd crack. I walked right over and pressed my forehead to the gun. Selina and my mother both gasped. The barrel dug into my forehead, but I relished the bruising pain. I pushed harder, aching for it. Anything to distract from the realer pain that this woman, standing across the island counter with a gun trained on my aunt, was the mother I'd lost when I was just a child. Hardly the fairy tale reunion I'd once dreamed of. Go on, I hissed to the man. Do it.
The police station bustled. There was a rapid movement of people in and out the main doors, some in handcuffs, escorted by officers. Others were frantic family members, plus a single homeless-looking guy who seemed intent on getting arrested just so he had somewhere warm to sleep. I watched it all through a tiny window in an interview room. A woman had taken my phone and keys, bagged them in plastic, and stuck on a hastily filled-out label before tucking them away in storage. My fingerprints had been scanned, and now I was waiting for whatever came next. A mugshot? An interrogation? Unlike a lot of the guys who grew up in St. View, I'd made it to 18 without getting arrested, so I had no idea of the protocol. A numbness washed over me. It was like I wasn't even inside my own body. I went through the motions, not protesting, not offering any resistance, knowing there was nothing I could do to stop this nightmare from unfolding. I was probably going to be charged with murder. I knew that. It was what the cops had said as they slapped the cuffs on me, and then hauled me away from the dance, from my friends, from Lacey. My heart squeezed painfully at the thought of her. She'd held my gaze for as long as she could, until the very last second, and that was what I held on to now. If I closed my eyes, I could still smell her perfume, still feel the slinky material of her dress, still feel the warmth of her body, pressed against mine while we danced beneath 1,000 fairy lights in the crummy St. View High gymnasium.